play the same team 3 games in a row. What factors go into determining what order you pitch guys in, and does them having the best pitcher in the country factor into that at all? Do you consider that, or do you just throw your best guys out there?
So in a lot of ways, obviously there's some different things at stake, but it almost feels like another SEC weekend, right? So you got to do whatever you can to win that series, and obviously if you don't, then your season's over. So as we continue to watch video and just see how, players change, right? If you look at our team now compared to then, and then their team now and then, like guys get better, some guys are hot, some guys kind of wear down, some guys are really getting going, some guys that weren't maybe in the lineup are now in the lineup. So as we continue to watch video and study them, obviously then we'll, set up our plan of attack. And, that is one of the strengths about our pitching staff is we've had a lot of different guys that have started before, so we feel really comfortable. Whoever we put in that role, he would have been there and done that before.
You made sure De La Cruz didn't beat you when you all went down there in April. With the stakes being higher, do you change that approach of how you pitch to him at all?
I haven't got to him yet in their lineup, and obviously you look at the numbers. He's a special offensive player, but there's a lot of things that go into that. Not only sometimes how he's going, but how's the guy behind him going, the score, the out, the inning, the runners. So there'll be times where yes, we'll have to attack him and go for him, and there'll be times where we'll just, maybe it might be the old unintentional intentional walk, or just give him straight the intentional walk. But we've gone in a series before where you just feel like that guy probably shouldn't even bring his bat because he's not going to get anything to hit, But obviously we'll manage that, and we'll see all those factors play in and how we'll approach him. But he's definitely a guy that there needs to be multiple conversations about.
Since you've been here, you've always been pitching defense, but you have to be excited about the way your offense played this past weekend, aren't you?
Yes, and you saw that from our team, and I just want to compliment our players again because when we lost that Saturday game, we knew we had to win 3 straight games, and we needed to play our best baseball. And when you think about that first game on Sunday, we really did that. We won 10-0, and that's about as good as elimination game as you could ask your team to do. Just to sit there and pitch a shutout and defend at a super high level and score a bunch of runs. And I thought that carried over into Sunday. I thought into that next game on Sunday, to where you'd almost sense that our team almost like took a deep breath. Some of the dugout antics started coming out, and it was just good to see the guys just like cut loose and be free. And there was no way we would have been able to do it without offense. And I even thought, Jeff, on Monday, that we did exactly what we needed to and just enough, with some extra base hits and some good dances at second and everything else. So that was good.
Seeing Skeens already, obviously big time pitcher. Grant said, seeing him already feels good. That they already got some hits off of him. What do you remember about facing him, and what do you feel like the best you're gonna have to do against him?
He's just super competitive, so there's going to be, we're going to have to match his competitiveness. I know it starts there. And, but the fastball is really good, the slider, so just back in the office just now, just watching him, just trying to study to put our guys and put together a good game plan and get with Coach Collier and Coach Ammo about creating a good game plan, but, sometimes when our guys have faced him, sometimes it's good to ask them, how you faced him, what do you see? Because there is a pregame scout report that goes into it, and then obviously as the game's going on, it is one of the good things about our offense is our guys communicate at a really high level. The information that they present to each other, it's much like a football game or a basketball game, to where, hey, you go in with a plan, but hey, there's times where you need to adjust your plan, and you got to have a backup plan, and then sometimes you need another plan. So our guys' ability to communicate at a high level, and I'll be the coach that will ask them a lot of questions. Hey, what did you see? What worked good for you last time? If you had to go back through some of those at-bats, what would you do different? So we'll rely a lot on them, because obviously not only do we have talented players, but a lot of our guys, they're just really smart players as well.
I know you're not going to give us your game plan against him, but do you tell your guys, hey, just go up there and eat first thing you see, hittable hit, or do you do like the Yankees and just work it out, try to get that pitch count up?
Yeah, Jeff, I think we're at our best when we're attacking. And what does that mean? That means we could be attacking the first pitch. We could be looking to lay down a bunt, put a guy in motion, going first to third, battling with 2 strikes, so it'll be more about that, making sure that our mentality and our approach is right. He's not a guy that you're just going to sit there and pitch count because he just throws a ton of strikes, but he is a guy that you have to battle with 2 strikes. You have to do your best job putting balls in play, trying to create pressure on them defensively, and obviously we'll see where he's at that day and what his stuff's like, and see what the approach would be. Maybe he has a day where he's not commanding the ball as well, and we do go that way, or it might be, man, he's all over his zone with everything, and we got to attack early. But we'll have to wait and see what the game presents itself that day.
Nick, when you lost to Indiana, you said the good news is we've been there before, know how to get it, here we all are. But you've taken the team to a super regional. The road trip's a little different, but still the stakes are the same. So how does that experience help?
Yeah, so, I did. You're right. I told him that day that the good news, there's good news and bad news. Bad news is we lost the game. The good news is that, hey, there's been a bunch of guys that have worn that uniform that have done it before, and I had been there before as well. And, I can tell you this, that even when you look on our staff, we got 3 guys on our staff that have been to the College World Series. All 4 have been to a College World Series and have been to Omaha. 3 of us have been to Omaha before, so, for them to understand that, hey, look, this might be a new position for them, but it's not for us. And here's how we're going to do that. And here's how we're going to make it there. And will it be easy? No. But that's what makes it sweet, right? To climb to the top is never easy. And you know what? The very end of the climb is the hardest. But when you get there, it is special. And I can tell you this, I wouldn't we want to do it with another group of guys. This is a special team of a bunch of competitive people, and their term is dogs, and I would agree. They're a bunch of dogs, and I love being their coach. Yeah.
You wanted a dog pile and got it. Now, how badly do you want Omaha for this bunch? I know
Oh.
you're looking down on this still.
Kristen and I were talking, and God willing, I'll be able to coach for however long. I hope I get that opportunity. But for some of these guys, they'll never play college baseball again. So it gets to a spot where you want it all for them. Like, you want them to have experiences that they've never had. I asked one of our players, hey, how did that feel? And he's like, Coach, that was the best day of my life. Like, and as a coach, like, what else do you want? Right? Like, you want them to have experiences. Like, you want them to have these things. And, when they get it, you're just, me, I just love watching it. And I'm thankful, So I'll tell them today, every dog pile gets better. Like, they don't get, like, they get better. So you do another one, and that one's better, So, but for them, for those guys that will never have that opportunity again, that's all you could ever ask, is to be in a position to do that. And now it's up to them to go do it. And hopefully I will ask somebody else in a couple days, how was that? Coach, that was the best day of my life. And you just keep getting those. You want that for them, because they deserve it. They've done everything. They've done everything that we've asked them to do. Very unselfish group. I will not stop saying that about them. Special dudes, yeah.
Nick, now that you've been through the full regular season and regional, what was the impact in just the culture of all these transfers who, like Hunter said Saturday, had never been in a postseason game before, who were all coming here because they were hungry for this moment in particular?
Yeah, that's a really good term, is hungry. And I would say that it wasn't just the transfers, it was guys that were in the program too. And who else was hungry were our fans. Like, how special were they? Like, they helped create that environment that made it really hard to play in. They were hungry. So the transfers, there's no question that they've, been a huge influence on this season. But even the guys that are currently, that were high school guys that have been in the program, and, I would just say their overall hunger in general as a team, and desire to win. That's the one thing that that stood out, not the one thing, but the one of many that just continues to stand about them, like their desire to win that dominates. And guys, I loved how loose they were in the dugout and throwing Evan Byers up in the air. And then I saw some guys score a run, and I don't typically look in the dugout. I look, and everybody's sitting down, and there's water bottles squirting, and it was just like. But even that, to create a team, you guys know this, but it's a lot like a good recipe. You have to have a bunch of different ingredients, right? If you just have one ingredient, and I don't cook, I'm just like, you don't want to eat my food. My wife's a really good cook. But you got to have different ingredients, and they all go together, and that's what makes a great meal, So sometimes for us, it's, it could be one of the transfers, it could be, some of our local guys. I thought it was so awesome that on a Monday night in the biggest crowd in the history of our program, huge game, that we had 2 guys from Kentucky throw the baseball game, right? But then some of the guys that impacted it on the other end are from all over the country, and another country with a million, right? Like we have multiple countries presented, and just the fact that, we have a team and a group of guys that care that much, and really they could be from all over, right? A lot like all these different microphones and phones and tape recorders, and but this is all what's going to make it go. And I'm thankful for not only all the transfers, but for all the guys in our program.
About immediately, I was just talking to him. He said he didn't even know what college baseball was when he was 16. What was the process of recruiting a guy from Canada, like who's just not familiar with this baseball?
I can tell you this, Coach Roselle, I believe, was the first one that saw him, and I remember getting a phone call. Him and Coach Coggin were down and out recruiting in Georgia, and I don't remember if that's where we first saw him, and then we carried over into Georgia. But Coach Roselle, a pitching coach, loves a great defender, right, and loves a guy that could play shortstop. And he was this smaller, skinnier kid, and you guys know all the story about maybe stretching the truth a little bit about how much he really weighed, but he was a really thin defender. And then I remember getting down to Georgia and watching him, and just like, holy cow, this guy, like he moves with such grace and freedom and rhythm and the arm stroke, and then watching him hit, just how it was just like such an easy swing. And obviously getting to know and then pick his coach's brain at the time, what he was like, and then just trusting your eyes, just to think that, hey, this guy is going to be able to play shortstop for us one day. And even him is an amazing story. Like when I talk about the unselfishness of our guys, he went during the fall, like playing some shortstop. And at the end of his fall meeting, we asked all of our players to fill out their lineups, their travel rosters. We asked for their feedback. And I noticed that he had himself at second base. And in that end of the fall meeting, I asked him, I was like, Pete, I noticed you put yourself here. And he's like, Coach, I definitely want to play shortstop, but I think it's best for our team if I play second and Grant can play shortstop. I think that would be our best middle infield. And I'm like, come on, that'd been really easy for him to go. I sat behind Ryan Ritter all year last year. This is my time, right? This is my chance. And then instead, no, just totally unselfish, has to do whatever. And I really believe that's one of the reasons why he's had an amazing year, is because he is a very unselfish guy. And, maybe he didn't know much about college baseball, but with every passing day, that guy just gets better and better and better and better. And he is one of the main reasons why I'm sitting at this table right now with all these things in front of me, is because the impact he's had on our team.
Nick, Austin's had some pretty good relief appearances throughout the years that he's been here, but the last 2 starting against really good offenses and dominating both. What's kind of clicked for him to kind of take that jump?
He's really grown in a lot of ways, in every way, really, when you think about him physically, even spiritually, emotionally, mentally, athletically. Everything about Austin Strickland has gotten better from the time he's been on our campus. And I saw the video or this gif of him with his sunglasses in his arms and just banging the stuff. I sent it to him last night in a text, and I just said, hey man, I love you, I'm proud of you. Keep being you. But one thing that he has gotten dramatically better at, and every part of his game has is just his delivery. I feel like he really understands his delivery now. I feel like he, you know, him and Coach Rozelle have this saying, just be boring. I'm not sure if he shared that with you guys, but like, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, the Austin Strickland in the dugout where he's dancing there, playing his techno music. I saw him banging, and he's just like, you know, well, just be boring, you know. And his boring is really special because it's mid-90s with tremendous movement. The slider and the slider command has gotten better. His changeup has come a long way, but his overall feel for his delivery and has really helped him. And I feel like it's made all of his pitches better. And I can tell you that our team, when he takes the mound, our team is really confident, you know, and it starts with him because he's a really confident guy.
That's good.
Right.
Yep, thank you guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.